Moon Up Moods. I am Lee Bishop. How's everybody doing today? We are on my podcast. I got a fantastic co-host right now. My cousin, my blood, in her building, not in the building, but her building. Crystin Gilmore.
Oh,
What happened?
I said,
How are-
oh,
I
I
know.
got excited.
Oh, okay.
You know I'm emotional. I'm an emotional girl.
Very emotional.
Thank you for
Very-
having me.
Very emotional. Very feminine.
I am. Thank you for recognizing my femininity. I think
Oh,
that's
how could I not?
you know what it is. I think I'm learning that you can be powerful and soft.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that too. I believe that you could be even with men. I think we have a thing where boys don't cry and soft harden up and
hmm
all that stuff. But you know what? I need a hug.
Yeah,
I need a hug every day. Goddamn it.
me
You
too.
know what I mean? Yeah. So, but I can still put it be masculine and be assertive and aggressive without being violent. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
There are studies about that, that say the reason why you all's life expectancy is less than a woman's is because you don't cry enough. You don't release enough. I'm dead
Yes,
serious.
yes.
You all don't release enough. So
Yeah.
literally your tear ducts are like having trauma. They're
Mm.
experiencing trauma. Dis-ease, which turns into disease, is building up in your bodies. And over time, that just causes the rest of your body to break. And it makes sense to me because when we hold stuff in, it turns into stress. And it, in my mind, in a portion of our body, somewhere in there's a little ball where that all that stuff that we don't deal with goes. And eventually that little ball, our body says, oh, let me get rid of this and I'll put it over there. Oh, let me get rid of this and I'll put it over there. And that little thing that has all that stuff that's put over there just continues to build. And before you know it, we're tapping out.
I believe that because I'm like, how many men are crying in showers? How many men are in jail crying at night? Where nobody sees them. You know what I'm saying? I also think too, like if we were more, what do you call it, observing of our almost is that feminine side or sensitive side, like we would probably have better relationships with our women and ourselves and our families. You know what I'm saying? Forgive, not forget, but forgive.
Sure.
And we would probably live less stressful and longer lives, like
happier. I
and
think so
happier.
too.
Yeah, because I think we hold on to things. We hold grudges. We're like, oh, that guy did, he didn't pay me my money, man. F that guy. Like, I'm about to put a hammer in his back of his neck, and then you go to jail.
Yeah.
With a lot of other guys who need therapy. You guys
All because
need
of your
therapy.
ego.
All
It's
because
ego.
oh my God, I always say that too. It is ego, 100%.
Mhm.
It's amazing, and I do also believe that we all need therapy. We need somebody to talk to. I think we should have that in high schools.
Ooh.
Have it like, because at that age, and I could, we all could relate. We were all in high school. Hopefully, all of us were in high school. I know some of us didn't go to high school. Anyway, the growing up, the growing pains, being bullied, being the bully.
I've been both. I've been bullied. and
I
I've
have been both too. I've been both
Yeah.
too, believe it or not. And if I would have had somebody to talk to in my junior and senior year, because I made a total transformation in my junior year, if I would have had somebody to talk to, I think I would have been less in the streets.
Mhm.
In the
Mhm.
streets. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And I would have kept on the path, because I think, or even earlier than that, because my parents divorced. That killed me. I didn't know how to handle that. Being bullied, I didn't know how to handle that. Being Blasian, I didn't know how to handle that. All these things as a kid, and still growing, as much as I grew. It's
You're a grown man. I don't know what you're talking about.
no, I mean my height.
I know. But you're still a grown man.
But yeah, so, but yeah, I would that I think having somebody to talk to would have helped.
Yeah. And you know what? You say high school, I say middle school, because I feel like that's when kids get real cruel.
I
And I
agree.
feel like that's when we get awkward. Like middle school is that time when we start looking a lot different. We go from being cute in elementary school to what the acne
Yeah,
starts
the
popping
acne.
out. Some people develop sooner than others. You
Hmm.
start to really recognize the opposite sex
Oh yeah,
and where you fall in popularity. So
yeah,
if we, and normalize it, we need to normalize having somebody to talk to. All therapy is an opportunity to share a conversation and to get some stuff off your chest.
yeah.
And parents working as much as they do these days, sometimes two jobs trying to make these ends meet, and some of them don't have the tools to even listen to their children or offer them the word, because everybody's going off of their own personal experience. But I bet it's slightly different from your experience in middle school to your child's experience.
Also, at a young age, you don't know why you're doing it. I don't know why I threw that rock through the window. I don't know why I went with these 4 other guys to go steal a car. I don't know why I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't have the words to
articulate.
The fact that I'm being neglected at home, or I saw somebody get shot and that traumatized me. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what the hell is going on with you. So to somebody, an adult, unpack that for you, and you were like, oh yeah, and then have like a existential what do you call it, breakthrough. That would have been great for me.
For me too. I come from a very religious background. So most of my most of my talks where Jesus said don't do it. And it was the most confusing thing to hear from me. Like, don't do what and why?
Yeah, what am I not to do? Not eat with a spoon?
You know what I'm saying? That was my sex talk too. Jesus said don't do it. I mean, to this day, my mother and my dad get upset when I talk about this. But I'm like, I'm a child who would ask 20 whys, because the first answer wasn't good enough, nor was the second, nor was the third. So, but I come from the age where they just said, because I said so. That means nothing to me. I needed something to stick, something to register. I needed it to make sense to me. So early on, I realized, thank God, that my parents did not have all the answers.
Right.
And it kind of made our relationships better, because I wasn't placing them on a pedestal or looking for them to be the ones to save me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot, they're human. They don't know. And I just mosey on about my business,
That's what that means with, just because I said so means I don't know.
Right.
But I would want you to do it this way, or I don't want you to do this, because I can't give you a good answer other than because I don't want you to. So either Jesus says so or I says so. Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I would have had more than that. I will say this though, with age, I look back at a lot of the wisdom that they placed in me, and I can hear their voices when it comes to certain things. But look, parents are human. They do the best they can with what they have. But I'm grateful for the upbringing that I've had to this point. One of the best points my dad ever made for me, cousin, was when I was having a meltdown of a day. And I live in New York. I've been here for 13 years now, about to be 14 in October. And it was probably 5 years in. And I had this anxiety attack this particular day. I was headed to work. And I call him and I'm like, Daddy, I need to talk to you. You know how you're so worked up, you can't even breathe, And my dad is really great when I get worked up at calming me, because his voice gets really calm. Because he's like, if she's freaking out, let me go in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, what's going on? Well, what's bothering you? And I'm like, I just thought that if something were to happen to you all, if you all were to die, I can't get to you soon enough. And it made me feel like I used to feel as a child, like if they ever leave me, what am I going to do? I always wanted to die before them, because I didn't want to be stuck on this earth trying to figure it out. And he said, Crystin, let me tell you something. He said, God created you with everything you need to survive. He said, we were just the vessels to get you here. And that right there, I will never forget it. And I've said it so many times because it resonated for me in a sense of, it literally gave me a deep breath, like, oh, excuse me. So I have everything I need to survive. So everything that I think I'll miss if you die, if you transition on this earth, he already has prepared for me to find along the way.
Mm-hmm.
It just took stress off my chest. And I
Yeah.
realized, okay, I'm going to appreciate every moment I have with them. There is nothing they could tell me that I'll say no to, because my parents are the kind of parents who would put me in harm's way.
Mm.
And I'll be fine. I was fine from that moment on.
Yeah. Just like words of affirmation, like you just needed to hear from somebody you love and respect. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's oh, that was good.
Right? Right? It hit me like I was like, whew, okay. So there's no rush for me to get to him if he
Mm,
passes away. Because
right.
God made me with everything I need to survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Because
know?
I think even with that, like you probably thinking like that's a social construct too. Like when your parents pass, you should be there and blah blah blah. But he reassured you that it's okay, and yeah,
Absolutely.
we shouldn't. That's another thing I hate too. Like we shouldn't live by other people's standards and other people's ways. Like
Now
you
you
you do
preaching.
your own thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You do
We're
your own
all
thing,
made
and if you're
different.
content, and we're all made different, and if you're content with it, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, if you
Yeah.
don't attend your homeboy's funeral, it's like you had a reason why, right? You
Yeah.
had your own reason. You don't want to see him. You don't want to have that image of him.
Hmm.
Last image of him in the casket. You want to have the last image of him was when you guys were playing baseball. That, or
Right.
sitting at the park talking about girls and stuff. That's cool. That's enough for you. And your other friends are like, oh, why didn't you go to the funeral? It's like, because I don't want to see my friend in a casket.
Right.
I don't want that to be the last image. The last
But guess
image.
what?
What's
You
up?
also enjoyed him while he lived. So if you're enjoying
Yes.
people while they live and being present in the moment, once they've passed, it's too late. So you being there has jack to do with. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, it's
Yeah.
great to honor him in that way, but
Yeah.
his funeral is for you. It's not for him.
Yeah.
He's gone,
Yeah.
or he's transitioned,
You
hopefully, to become your
transition.
angel. That's my
Uh,
hope. How do you feel about transition? What do you think about that?
what you mean? Like,
I
what?
mean, once we leave this physical vessel, once
Yeah.
our bodies are gone, what do you think happens?
Um,
Sorry.
it's okay. No worries.
Thank you.
I think anything's possible. I'm not definitely on one answer.
Mm.
It's a mystery to me, and I accept that. Everybody has, every religion has their own philosophy or understanding or definite conclusion of what happens. If we get reincarnated, if I turn into a flower, if I, transition into a ghost, if I or an angel, or become
Yeah.
one of the stars in the sky,
Ooh, that would
if
be fun.
if I become a ghost and stuck here in this house,
Oh, no. Don't get stuck.
no, I can't go anywhere until my inner whatever that's holding me here gets released, or
Yeah.
I think anything is possible. I don't have a definite conclusion, so that's how
Me
I see it.
either. I mean, that's the thing. I think there's certain things that the Lord wanted us to know and certain that we don't, some that we don't, you know.
Yeah.
My hope is that I always tell people that I love, like when I die, if I can, I'm coming to visit. And
Yeah.
this is how you will know it's me. And I have like different things for each person relative to our relationship.
Are
So
you
they'll be like,
ready?
oh, I'm ready. I'm
What?
ready because
What?
I know this sounds crazy to you. I'm ready because I'm not afraid to die. I used to be afraid to die when I was
Yeah,
younger.
me neither. Yeah.
I'm like, but now I'm like, no, when God calls me home, it's because it's my time. And
Yeah.
and I'm living in a way now to where I can enjoy every single moment that the Lord gives me. I also tell people, don't worry about how I die. If I'm shot,
Mm-hmm.
if it's in my sleep, if it's due
Mm-hmm.
to an earthquake or lightning strikes me down, the why does not matter
Right.
because it was my time. There was nothing I can do to stop it. I've served my purpose. My purpose has been, fulfilled. It's time for me to peace out. So that to me says that I need to be very aware of what I'm doing on this earth and to be present in every moment and to make sure I get everything attached to my name. I say it all the time. I want to die empty. Like that's it. Like when I'm gone, it's like nothing but fumes left. They're like, oh shoot, she did everything she was supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
That's
did
what.
it my way.
Yeah.
You
All right.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's his
Who?
name? She did it. I did it my
My
way.
way.
Is it Dean?
Is it Dean or is it
Fred,
I think it's Dean.
New York, New York. Same one, right?
Yeah,
Now I got to look it up.
I know.
Okay. My way.
Mm,
I bet it's
we'll
well, I don't
be
know.
correct here.
My way. Frank.
Frank.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, because he think he did Marilyn Monroe. That has nothing to do with it.
No. But
Fun fact.
she was beautiful.
Yes.
Do you have a
So
type? Sorry, I'm just going to the other side. You just said Maryland, so it made me think about women. Do you have a type?
no. I
I
used
love
to
that.
I used to just date black women because I'm getting a little deep
Give it.
for myself. I'm gonna expose myself.
I'm ready.
I used to only date black women because I wanted to prove that I was black.
Okay.
So not to prove that I was black, but prove that prove that hey man, I'm black. Because I can't bring my dad with me everywhere. So
Yep.
this is my dad. This is my dad. I can't bring him.
Why
I
can't
can't
you be
pull
who we
I
why
can't
can't you
pull
be
out a
who you
black
say
card.
you are though?
Mm,
Why can't we just as the world just take you as who you say you
That's the
are?
thing too. Nobody ever questioned it, especially black people who that's all I mostly hung around with. Never
Okay.
had a problem. It
Mhm.
was all me.
Okay.
And it was all just light skinned me.
Okay.
And but I only dated black women for what. Plus, I was in my pro black phase where everything
Okay.
just had to be black. Everything I listened to was black.
Mhm.
Everything.
Underwear black,
Underwear black, turtleneck black,
socks
hat
black,
black, eyeball black, eyebrow black, collar black,
black car.
black, black car, black wheels.
You really did have black car wheels, didn't you?
I hope everybody had a black wheel.
Oh, I
Black
meant rims.
sky, black rice. Um, so I only did black, I only did black women, and then the the point I changed was, to be honest with you, was when I saw Sandra Bullock in Demolition Man, and I was like, she fine,
Ooh.
and she white, but she fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like what am I doing? And then like girls that white girls at school, Mexican girls at school were liking me and stuff, and I'm just like, why am I denying this other colors affection? You know what I'm saying? What
Mm-hmm.
so I just kind of like saw everybody the same after that, and so I don't have a the only preference I date everybody. The only preference I have is I'm not attracted to big girls because I can't handle big girls.
Okay.
So I mean that's it. I don't find that attractive, but I mean that's about it. But I
Okay.
have dated big girls,
Mm-hmm.
not big, but thick,
Mm-hmm.
thick, big, thicky. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but
Do you
but
think most men are attracted to all women and they just decide to compartmentalize? Or do you think that they fight those urges because of what society says or how they'll be judged?
what urges? Like what?
Like, let's say that it's a white guy and he sees this stunningly beautiful black woman,
Yeah,
but because of his family's
sure.
background,
I don't
he
think.
goes, I can't be with her.
I think pussy is stronger than steel, and I think we as men don't care. I know a lot of guys who their parents don't approve, or they want them to date Armenian, and he dates a black chick or a non-Armenian chick, and he
Mhm,
doesn't care because the love that he gets from her conquers all of that. Saying they'll
mm,
just have to deal with it. And I hate dealing with people who are so ruled by their folks. It's like, whose life
yeah,
are you living? Are you living yours
right.
or your daddy's? You know
Mhm,
what I'm saying? Like, if this guy is okay and provides for you, it's nothing if he's an asshole and he's like abusive, and that's not cool with any race. But if he's a good man, or she's a good woman, like who cares?
yeah, yeah,
You
I
know?
agree with you on that.
And I think
How
with
long
like with black men, like we I don't know. What was I gonna say? We comes up sometimes we're just I don't know.
yeah.
I lost
I got a question about black men because I see, I'm married 12 years on Monday. Um, I
Amazing.
thank you. It hadn't always been easy, but it's been worth it. I haven't always seen black men as being approachable, or better yet, not approachable, approaching me in my single days, in my, in with this a warm smile, even. Sometimes I feel like, why don't they take that risk? Why don't, regardless of what the outcome is, why don't they just step out and say, hey, nice to see you, or hey, you look beautiful, or I love that, that perfume you're wearing, or that jacket you have on, or whatever, like,
Is that now or
I mean,
before?
well, I still get approached, even though I am married. And I'll tell you my response to every man. One, I am a woman. I will always love compliments till the day I die. From my husband, from any man. If you see me on the street and you can acknowledge the fact that it took me a little longer than I wanted to look like this, and you got a sister, you doing it today, I will happily take that in my whole soul. Okay. So I appreciate that. I always tell Jules, yes, my husband's name, whenever my self-esteem low, all I go is to Harlem on 125th, and I get compliments up and down the street. And I'm like, whoo, I feel better about myself today.
Mm.
So as a woman,
That's your Instagram. That's your outside. That's your real Instagram.
legit,
Like, like the hair, like the denim, like everything.
I'm
The
telling
lipstick.
you, I love it. Whatever they, I'm like, okay, that I feel better now today. But the thing is, for years, I would see guys who I thought were attractive, but they just wouldn't say anything to me. And
Why didn't you say anything? Or you don't
I
believe
think
that's a woman's place?
I think it's twofold, right? So yeah, part of it is I love a man who commands a room. I love a man who sees what he wants and goes after it. And for me, my welcoming is a smile. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I see you and I give you those eyes and I smile, then that means come on, say something.
Okay.
And if you don't, then I assume, okay, well, he's either taken, or he's, in a relationship, or he has an ego, or, I just go all over the place. What is that? Do you ever see a beautiful woman and stop yourself from saying something and wish you would have once you've gone about your day?
I do that every day.
Why?
Because I'm not the game. For me personally, I'm not the game, man. Like I after my breakup, I took a break, and then I went down this red pill rabbit hole and MGTOW rabbit hole. So now I'm just kind of like focusing on myself because I want to bring more to the table. So until I feel like I'm ready to bring more to the table, I kind of just don't care to go that extra mile to try to talk to anyone. Even though I am on two dating apps, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to give them props because I hate them, but
Oh,
that's my effort. My
okay.
only dating effort is being on those apps. Other than that, like I'm just like I see. I mean, I'm in LA.
Mm-hmm.
She's in New York, and I'm in Los Angeles. Um, there's meat everywhere, and
Yeah.
I just window shop.
Okay.
Plus, my competition here is ridiculous. So it's just like it's not like Sacramento. Sacramento was my feeding ground, but out here, oh my god,
See, I don't believe in competition. I think you are your own competition, and what's for you will find you regardless. So, but I get what you're saying. There's a lot more
I like that.
pickings, right?
Yeah,
But at the same time, like, there's only one you.
yeah.
So,
But they won't know that. Like, let's say this. Let's say this. I'll say this. Let's say this. I'll say this. Um,
but you're also the dude who sees them and doesn't say anything. So,
yeah, but they also don't. Even if we make eye contact, if I rarely will I get another smile. I mean, a return smile because I don't know. Like women, I don't want to say all of them because I haven't seen all of them out here. But the ones I walk past and give a high, a smile before COVID, um,
yeah.
I would really get a smile back. And I'm thinking, then I start dissecting myself on why. And then I just say, well, maybe she's just a bitch.
Oh,
Like she just, I mean,
mm-hmm.
meaning like she just bougie. Like
Yeah.
she's not a nice person. So
Mm-hmm.
I avoided that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I like the mean girls. But
Really?
I do it
Why?
because
The challenge?
not just the challenge, that's a little bit of it, but more like I get off my ego gets
Mm-hmm.
off on me. I actually get to see the other side of this mean girl where other people get the mean girl. But I get
Okay.
the sensitive, the beautiful, like I broke that meanness down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I
Okay.
broke the shell. You know what I'm saying? And
So
everybody's like,
if
good.
you like Mean Girls, then why aren't you still approaching the girl who doesn't smile back?
Because to me, which I self-deprecate is I'll think, oh, it must be because I'm short or I'm light
Okay.
skinned. I'm not her race. I'm not, 6 feet tall. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I don't have muscles. You know what I mean? Like,
Thought distortions,
yeah, I
lies.
like that. It's
Yeah.
not lie. I mean, it's true.
It's no.
Physically, it's true,
Those
but
are
her
things,
reason.
but all of those aren't true. All of them are
Well,
true.
technically, no, because I don't know. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So I felt, yeah, I must because I'm short or because I
Yeah.
got this mustache. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I just
Yeah.
start breaking myself down, and then I keep pushing. Like I don't dwell
Yeah.
on it. You
Right.
know what I mean? I just go back into my, MGTOW role and keep it moving.
Can I tell you something?
Yes, you can.
On a scale of 1 to 10, men rank themselves way higher than we as women do. So if you're going to rank yourself automatically higher than I do, where do you think my my thoughts lie when I see you? So basically, if I'm off top, right, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably going to rank myself about a 6, 6.5. I honestly, right now, I probably rank myself about a 8.5, just because I am really into me. I really am. Have not always been, but I am really into me. Like this whole I'm about to be my own number one fan for the rest of my days is high.
I
So
like
when I
that.
get that other, 1.5, because I'm gonna leave that point 0.5 out of there, always gotta leave room for
Yeah.
improvement. But you know, if I rank myself a 6.5, you're likely going to rank yourself automatically like an 8. So if your thoughts are there, what do you think mine are? I'm just trying to give you a perspective of if you're thinking those things, I could be thinking, oh, he doesn't want me because I got kids. Or,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, she's staring at this big pimple that's on my face.
Yeah.
You don't even see the pimple. You just see this beautiful image of a woman, and my face is all frowned up, like, don't let him come over here. I just left the gym. I smell. I forgot my deodorant. All
Yeah.
these things are going on in my head that you know nothing about. I live with my mom. All these
Mm.
things, right? I'm not ready yet. I just got out of a bad relationship, or yada 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 yada. So, do you get what I'm saying here?
Yeah. Like so, women do the same thing. We
We
all do
do,
the.
and we do it and add like 1.5% on top of that
Yeah.
of how on a scale of 1 to 10 of how we do that.
And then the kids thing is that we don't know what you have. We don't see you. We don't know you, so we don't know any of
Exactly.
that. But the woman saying, "Oh, it must be because I have kids or this extra roll of fat right here or blah 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 blah."
Absolutely.
Like when we really don't know. We wouldn't know.
No.
So
Everybody's waiting until, and there is no until, you know?
yeah, I don't have the power in me anymore.
I get it.
And
It's
then and
temporary,
then
right?
I hope so because you know what I also think of too, the energy I have to put in because I put so much energy into my last relationship and I don't have I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing if it's made easy for me, like if she
Mhm.
comes along and she's just making all the moves or whatever, and I cannot fight it, you know. But the right now, I don't have the energy to put into another person that I did my last one. But I'm willing to if she comes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny
Yeah.
her if she comes. That's ridiculous. Like I'm not going to pass it up. Just for me, I'll put my olive branch right now is just the dating apps, and then
Mhm.
which is not successful at all, by the way. But
I got married off a dating app.
yeah, I found my
So,
last ex on a dating app, so I'm a total advocate of the dating
yeah,
app.
they work.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, but they put us together and put people together that we possibly wouldn't meet on the street.
exactly. I would have never met my ex.
Yeah.
We don't go in the same circles. We're not in the
Yeah.
same areas, so I would have
Mhm.
never met her. And but
Mhm.
I thank the universe for meeting her.
Mhm.
She's great, so I'm glad that happened. So yeah, I'm a total advocate for dating apps. I just for me right now, that's my only olive branch. I don't because
Yeah.
in person too, like obviously because of COVID
Mhm.
and that energy and meeting somebody new is just it just overwhelms me right now. But I'm probably in my own head.
No,
I'm like swiping last night and just thinking, man, if I met this specific woman, like where would I take her? Can does she do coffee? What are we gonna
mhm.
talk about? But I just get in my own head. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I get
uh,
that. Can I tell you something?
you can.
I'm proud of you for being the guy who can enjoy your own company. Because there's a lot of men who I know who go from relationship to relationship to relationship and not dealing with their feelings. And all it is they become the Erica Badu bag man, not the bag lady.
Yeah,
We all know that as women. But there's no song I've heard that says bag man,
yeah.
and bringing that
You
stuff.
should make one. Do the
Maybe
remix,
who's bringing
acoustic
that stuff.
acoustic version.
I love a good acoustic
Yeah,
version, who's bringing their stuff from the past to the next. So
yeah.
I commend you for that. Thank you for being aware of that. That's big stuff.
Oh yeah, I dealt with it my way, and I'm still dealing with it, but it's less. I had a retail therapy. I had therapy. I had
I
drug
see it.
therapy.
I see your retail therapy back there. Hmm.
It's a
And I'm glad
problem.
you had therapy because
It's
that's
over.
again.
It's done. That's it. I paid for it. This therapy. The other one was kind of free, even though I took it out
Oh
of
shoot.
my paycheck. But yeah, and then my body, I had physical therapy with my. I feel like I had a problem issue with my body that took me out for a few months, and I I I said I told everybody that's my heart broke, and my
Mm.
body just said, woo.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Hmm.
was out, even though it was my back, but I
Yeah.
had back issues.
Listen, it manifests itself in different places in our body
Yeah,
where we carry it, right? Where we carry our stress, suddenly it just decides to disrupt. So
yeah.
disrupt our lives, sometimes to sit us down.
Oh yeah, it sat me down, laid me down, made me go to sleep, gave me drugs, did all that, reflect, cry,
Yeah.
all that stuff. I broke down in front of my manager when she brought it up, and I just started.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was just like, man, how can one person just hit so hard? It's like that was that was a trip. We
You
got
were
closer.
available.
What do you mean?
What I mean is you were available to feel. So that's how a person can get that close to your heart and where you are. And those words evidently it all had to happen. Your manager had to say something for you to release that because I think you just added an extra year to your life with those tears you shed.
Yeah, it's funny too because in when I was younger in my 20s, I would never let people in, but I let this person. I took a chance. We got together really kind of fast, and it was a great idea, no regrets. And
Mhm.
I tried to be even then though. I didn't. I wasn't. I was as open as I could compared to before, but I could have been more.
Okay.
And I think she could have too. You keep learning, even in your 40s, 30s, 40s, you still learn. You haven't graduated from nothing. You know what I mean? You're still
Yeah.
learning. I'm still learning about myself. I could have done this. I could have done that. And then you bring that to the next person, and you become a better individual, and you just learn. You just learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of them, and I still made this. And this was like a few years back. I made a lot of them then. I wasn't perfect
Mhm.
at all, and
Mm,
nobody is,
there you go.
you got to do the
Nobody
work.
is. I one thing I love about you is whenever I call you answer. Whenever I text, you eventually text back. You're giggling, but you do. And we have been on two different sides of the states for the majority of our time. We've been around each other for physically less, maybe 5 times or less.
Hmm.
But blood is thick, DNA is strong. And I love that our family unit, even though we're all over the world, is still very, very, very tight.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I have a lot of childhood photos of us together, but I don't remember a lot of those moments. Can you tell me one of your fondest childhood memories? And, because I want to know you.
About like going to reunions and stuff, like or going
No,
over.
No, it doesn't have to have anything
Oh,
to do with.
just being a kid.
Yeah, one of your fondest childhood memories.
My, I feel like the best days of my childhood was living in Guam and being around the trees, the water. The water was like a few minutes away. Being in that house, playing with my neighbors, the wildlife, the island. Like if I retire, I'd like to go back there. That was I just remember just being happy. You know, when I moved to the States, that's when everything collapsed. I was blind. I had asthma. I couldn't
Oh
breathe.
no. Shoot. Pollution is legit.
Yeah, dude. Like
Gosh.
I don't know how it is now. I've seen pictures of Guam, but if I retire, I'd like to go back there, or at least I want to go back there anyway just to visit. But yeah, that's the best times I remember. I had some good times here in Cali, but
Yeah.
my best times as a elementary kid like is in Guam. So
How do you feel about being a big brother?
it's weird because she's taller than me. No, it's cool because I feel like she learned from my mistakes. I remember some conversations I heard her have with dad, and I know she probably saw me and was like, I don't, because I'm like the creative one, and she's the scholastic one, and my dad's the scholastic one, and my mom is. She used to be creative. I don't know what she just mom now. Mom watching the news. So I'm taking risks. They did everything safe. I'm still taking a risk. I took a risk coming out here. It's just my creative side won't let me be scholastic, or whatever. Even though I bend at the knee sometimes, and I do it, and then I waste money, and then I come back to trying to be creative, whatever. But I don't know, like I'm proud of her. She's doing really well, way better than I am financially wise. She's, I wish we were tighter than we are, because there was a period where we just stopped talking. But other than that, I think we're okay now. Like we have dinner dates and stuff like that with our other friend, Gabriel. So I think
I think that's the friend that she's like, he likes him more than me. Like he took my friend. No, she just said Gabriel. I think if that's the one, y'all are tight. I will tell you this, because it's so funny. I always believe in giving people their flowers while they live, and
I do that too.
You do that too. I can tell. What I can tell you about your sister and what she says about you is she loves you so much. From Natalie and I've been close, like since we were younger, just because I think our age is closer and we're just girls, but we just not just girls, we just connected, and
yeah, you sure did.
We connected. And she always everything is about you, and it's about you in the way of, I miss my brother. I love my brother. I want to be around my brother. I want us to talk more. I want us to be closer. Everything. It's always, and all I have ever heard come out of her mouth is a longing for a relationship and a closeness. And I know you can giggle if you want, but I mean, I'm just telling you fact of what she'll probably never tell you, because she is your daddy's child in a lot of ways. And so she, sometimes says things and sometimes she doesn't. She sits on them. We struggle with that. She and I do in our relationship. I'm like, girl, stop. I'm a person to call you out because I love you. But, if you ever, I just want to make sure how proud she is of you, how she sees you making moves, how she respects you as her big brother. And every time y'all get closer and y'all like see each other, she's regretful when she's late, when she misses something, when she does something wrong. In the back of her mind, she's like, oh shoot, is he gonna disappear on me again because I messed up? And she'll probably never say that. And she'll probably, if she listens to this, she'll probably be like, hey, or why'd she say that? Or blah, blah, blah. That's not true. It's all true. Everything I'm saying is the truth. It just is. But I think that's I just want you to know that whenever you show up just like when you show up and your dad, he has to turn to the side because he's trying to fight, whatever's in his eyes that's bothering him.
He lets him go now.
He lets him go now. He's so proud of y'all.
He's
He's so proud of y'all as his kids. I'm so grateful that something's shifting in him, that he can just sit back now and stop having to be the dad to make sure he made good kids. And he gets to sit back and see that he did make good kids.
Yeah. Your parents, like you said earlier, your parents aren't perfect. I feel like they both did the best that they could with us. I do wish there was more affection, because for me personally, because I didn't get it from them, I looked for that in my friends and women, and I got it. So that's why it made me more biased towards them instead of my family, and I regret that, but I also know where it came from. And because of our family wasn't really a talking family, we didn't talk anything out. We kind of just, buried it in the sand. There's a part in Atlanta where T.I. and his family had an argument the last day, and then the next day went back to normal. Nobody talked about it. They just went, had cereal. Dude passed T.I. the milk, put the milk. You know what I mean? Like nothing happened. And although I do like that, because there's a what do you call it, non-verbal communication there of we're just going to bypass it because we family, we're going to leave alone. I feel like we should have talked about certain things. You know what I'm saying? And hearing that from Nally and my dad not being I don't like that now as a grown man. In my 20s, I loved it because I didn't have to talk about it. I had to, deal with my feelings and stuff. But now I'm in my feelings. Mm-hmm. I'm Drake. I'm talking about things. I think dealing with, the past women that I've dealt with made me more open like that. You know what I mean? Because they asked, why you do this? Why you don't like me? Blah, blah, what I do? I had to be a man and tell them what they did or what they didn't do. So I want that from them. Hearing that from you, from how now it feels, it would have been nice to hear that. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking the opposite, to be honest with you. Because as long as I've been here for 7 years. She's only came over here a few times. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to have her come over more. She don't even have to call, just come over. You know what I mean? I don't care. Mm-hmm. That's my sister. Mm-hmm. My dad does it all the time, even though he's never come over here. When I used to live in Sac, he just pop up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember one time I lived with my friend Keisha, and I didn't tell him where I lived, just not for no reason. I just never told him.
Yeah.
This motherfucker popped up. My friend has 2 kids, and one of them came and said, Bishop, somebody's at the door. I said, for me? She said, yeah. I said, who? Nobody knows I'm here. And then she goes, there's an old man outside. There's an old black man outside. I said, old black man, did I get in trouble? Did I hear somebody? I go outside, it's him. I just start laughing. How you know where I was, dog? Like, was it my phone? Was it? I don't know if I had his iPad. And I don't know, dude. That's that military. They'll find you.
Oh, they'll find you.
They'll find you in the Congo. They'll find you. Like, yeah, you just start laughing. And he's just like,
yeah.
You made that face.
You know what it is? It's all of us, exactly what you said when it comes to dating, right? We have all our preconceived notions and perceptions of what somebody else is thinking. So instead of verbalizing it, and if we did, we'd realize that that's all lies. We created all of that, and so why Natalie hasn't come over, you've created all these, situations in your head as of why, and they're all lies because we have, like you said, we're not having the conversations that need to be had.
Even with the time that the reason why me and her didn't talk, if we talked it out back then, and we were mature back then, so it would, but if we were more mature back then, we talked about it, that would never happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I am an advocate for therapy, and I'm an advocate for talking things out, because I feel like dealing with my friends and just life experiences and therapists who know the words to express what I'm feeling or how we feel, I think that's all important, and we all need that to be better people, because communication is the key. They say that with relationships. I say that with everything. at your job, family members, friends. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I've ended friendships amicably because we had a talk. I said, "Yo, I didn't like how you did it. I don't know. I don't like why you. I don't like how you did it. I don't like that you did that, and this is the reason why." And blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? And then we talk it out. If you can't rectify it, then we can't be cool. And then that
Mhm.
breakups too. You know, with your significant other. This is why. This is the problem. This is how I feel. Or you don't like it. Okay, cool. We can't rock together. Then that's it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you got to end it
Yeah.
for
But
your
you know
mental
what?
health. You got to end it.
Yeah. It's how you end it. Like you said, we can end everything on a great level. But some people don't feel like they're so used to having experiences where everything had to blow up in smoke. Like it had to be a fire,
Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a fire, but they're so used to that. So if there is no fire to end the relationship, then it's not done. And I'm like, well, you don't have to burn the bridge
yeah.
just for, our season to end. Our
Mhm.
season can end and then we can wish each other well and go on about our business. Do you think that's because a lot of us haven't been taught how to disagree or fight fair?
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, therapy should be in middle school. I agree with that. You know,
Mhm.
I only reason why I say high school is because of me, but
Yeah,
I could have used it in middle school too.
me
But
too.
we don't. Yeah, we don't know how. I mean, we learn from maybe our parents weren't the best examples, so we learn from them. We learn from our
Mhm.
how our friends dealt with things. You know, and it's all negative. Like if we had a mediator, somebody to tell us how to move our emotions in a certain pathway to be pleasant and mature and not go to jail and not do violent things or
Mhm.
burn the bridge, then I think we would be a better civilization, and
Mhm.
less people would go to jail, less people would lose money, less
Mhm.
people would be on drugs, like hard drugs. Like we would be more calmer, more serene. That's why I'm an advocate for meditation and yoga
Yeah.
and in therapy with that, and drink lots of water, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And eat more healthier. I think all that matters to be a conscientious, conscientious, positive person. And
Yeah.
and then you'll be able to deal with anything. Somebody hit your car. Hey man, are you okay? I saw you
Yeah.
hit my car.
Mhm.
What's going on with you?
Right.
Slow
We're
down. Okay,
alive.
yeah, we're
Not
alive.
that big of a deal.
Oh my God, we're
Insurance.
alive.
We're
How's
alive.
your neck? My neck's
Yeah.
cool. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we don't gotta, hey man, see man,
Yeah.
Simone,
Yeah.
let me go get the
Yeah. Yeah.
like dude, what calm
Can you imagine what we're doing to our hearts when we go from 0 to 60?
man, the high
In our
cholesterol just
bodies, all of that. But you know what?
the
This
sugar
is the unfortunate part. And the sugar's going.
the sugar go raise it up.
And that's how heart attacks happen.
Yep.
S
Road rage.
Marketing and the way road rage. I used to I think I don't have road rage anymore. Marketing, the foods that are marketed to us, the
Mm.
food products that most of us enjoy, they're addictive.
Mm.
The world wants us to be functioning sick. And
Yes.
so if we're sick from the inside, it's just going to manifest itself in the way we react and
Mm.
act
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah.
So you're right. Holistic approach to healing. I always love everything Eastern when it comes to medicine,
Mm-hmm.
because it looks at the entire body, not just the what, but the why.
Yeah.
And that matters. But I think a lot of us are so we're buying what people are selling, which is consumerism,
Mm-hmm.
which is more, 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 work longer hours to have the latest this, that, or the nicest this or that, and all that stuff. And the truth is, stress decreases once we release the fact that our self-worth stops being attached to these things.
Mm. I
And
like that.
then we don't care about the car getting hit so much. We
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we don't care about the neighborhood of which we have to be able to have an apartment as long as we're safe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, safety becomes first versus zip code, you know.
Yeah.
All those things start to happen. I live in the Bronx. I got friends who would never come this way. I have
Mm.
friends who I have had for years who have never been here. And some of them are welcome and some of them aren't. Because what I've learned is I can be your friend without you being my friend.
Okay.
And that's fine with me. There are certain levels of friendship.
Yeah.
Um, and the person can be blood or not, same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say I am very much so a protector of my peace.
Yes.
So if your level of growth if your journey is a little bit slower than mine, I can respect it, but I can also choose not to let you in my peace.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can meet you outside at the park and we can go for a walk, or I can meet you for a coffee. But if
Yeah.
that energy is jacked, you are not welcome within my four walls, be it in your mind that it's in a bad neighborhood or not.
Right.
Because inside of these four walls is nothing but peace. And I say that to say just because it's the Bronx, but if a person were to come here, they go, oh, okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
are there safer areas and zip codes? Absolutely. But I
Sure.
can't say I want to stay with those pretentious people because my stress would be a little bit high in some of those areas just because of what they carry and the energy of their keeping up with the Joneses. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't welcome that in my home.
Yeah. That's another thing too. Like money don't make you happy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It'll put you in a nicer area, but that don't make you, a nicer person. You know what I'm saying? Like there's Karens are everywhere. Racism is everywhere. Stereotyping is everywhere. Just because you did that, I'm doing it. And then
Oh, do it.
so yeah, that's another thing too. Like, and the food thing pisses me off too, because it's like the bad stuff is cheaper, right? Like we have food source here, that's the cheap food, like, and it's all mostly bad. But then like you want to eat healthy and clean and maybe veg or not, and then those are things that are more expensive, Whole Foods,
Yeah.
365, stuff like that. It's like we're in the middle is Vons and Ralph's for us on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
we gotta get what we can. And
Yeah.
I just did a research on cereal, and most of the cereals I eat are all bad, except for
All
Cheerios.
cereal. I was about to even Cheerios though. I mean, legit. Like,
Yes, Cheerios is like B on a grade scale. It's B. Like,
yeah,
God damn
yeah,
it! Like
yeah,
the best cereal, which is not a cereal, is Quaker Oats.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
exactly. And
And
I
I
eat
have
that
to eat
every
this,
day. It's oats. That's
and
all it's in it.
I have to eat the maple one because I can't. I need the taste. You know what I'm saying?
Can
If
you
I
can you just
had
get
to, I would.
can you just get the regular and then add a little real maple in it? You got less ingredients.
Hmm. But
Think about it.
is that harder?
Harder. Are you worth it?
Honey, I'm worth it.
That's right. That's right. You're worth it.
What do you mean? How do you just put the maple down like maple syrup? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna think about it.
Think about it.
I'm gonna
Think
because
about it.
think about it. About
I've
it.
read about LA and all of y'all's food deserts. I mean, I see them in the Bronx. I mean, I see how, you have to go farther to get to the good stuff. Or unfortunately for us, with gentrification, when people who don't look like me, white people, move into our area, then suddenly we get hummus or we get, vegetable green juices or kombucha, things that a lot of us have been asking for because unfortunately, Black lives aren't validated. Um, in a lot of instances because we aren't thought to take care of ourselves or hey, maybe we're learning a little late. But dog nabbit, last I checked, money was green.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps your lights on. That's what keeps your doors open. Um, that's what keeps us there. And thank God for the advocates who don't look like me, who are just as much saying, hey, calling it out. I tell my white friends all the time, they're like, how can I help? Call out when you see something wrong.
Mhm.
Stand beside a person who looks like me, put my face on them and fight for them as if it were me. Because
Mhm.
you all have that Black friend
Yeah.
who, if that was your friend, you would go to bat for. So act like that's me, because they are me. Every single Black person you see going through something is me. I say it all day. I'll say it all the time, and I mean it. And if you don't fight as hard as I do for me, we're playing games. And I don't have many more days left on this earth. I mean, I'm about to be 40 in September. I may have, who knows if I get to double that and see 80 or not. But
Mhm.
if you're gonna ride this ride with me, Dog Nabby, you better be willing to fight for me. I'll fight for you because I'm gonna die for something. And when I die, I'm gonna die for something. I tell Jules all the time, I'm like, look, I know New York can be a dangerous city or whatever, but Dog Nabbit, if I see a bullet coming for a child, I'm going out covering that baby.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm not gonna go hover in a corner and put a prayer on them. I mean, you can do that depending on the circumstance and the situation. But Dog Nabbit, die for something.
Yeah. Have a purpose. Find your
Yeah.
purpose. Have a purpose,
Yeah, not
and
saying run to it. I'm just saying if if it's there and it is your time and you feel it in your bones, Don't be the one who turns around and walks in the other direction.
You
You'll
know,
live with that just the same for the rest of your life.
yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like I had a friend who she caused an accident and she called me and said, "Should I have gone back?" And I was like, "Yeah, you should have, but you didn't. So either you don't, either you get therapy for it, or I really don't know."
Yeah, that's a hard
You know what I
one.
mean? Yeah, because you don't. It's like hit and run. Like you hit somebody. Now you're thinking, shit, dude, I'm going to go to jail. But do I do the right thing and go back, or do I keep going? There's a chance I can get away with it, because even if I do get caught, because I got away, I'm still going to go to jail. So it's like, what do you do? What's the right,
Yeah, but you're
So
not guaranteed to go to jail. So that's the other part, right? I mean, see, the thing is, everything doesn't work out the way we create the scenario in our head.
yeah. But if you're speeding and you hit somebody,
You can get a ticket. It's called an accident. That means it was accidentally done.
even if you hit somebody,
Yeah, you don't have to go to jail. You
what's
get a
it?
ticket, your car insurance goes up. You may have to go to court, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go to jail. You could
Yeah,
get probation. I mean, there are people,
yeah,
unfortunately, who have killed people in car accidents and did not go to jail.
yeah. That's true. I heard my friend was telling me her brother got hit by a car while he was riding his bike, and the lady got out, put him in her car, and took him to ER. And yeah, she didn't go to jail. She paid for everything, but she didn't go to jail. So yeah.
Yeah, clear
So
conscience.
yeah.
And she
So
did the
with
right
that,
thing.
I tell my friend, I told her what I told her. I wouldn't know what to do. No, I'll probably go back.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
as you
damn,
should.
is
Yeah,
everybody okay? Dang, dude. I would, and
absolutely.
then they explain everything to the, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The right thing to do is to go back, everybody.
yeah, just check on them. Just
Don't
check on
leave the
them.
scene, because you know what's
It's
going to
true.
happen. She got to live with that the rest of her life, and she
Yeah,
brought it to up to me before,
yeah,
and she's it's always going to be there.
it is.
It's never going to go away until you pass away. So
No. One of my friends says, she says, Kristen, because when I tell her I'm going through something, she says, Kristen, everywhere you go, there you are. And I'm like, that's it.
I
Deal with
heard that
this stuff.
on a movie somewhere.
Hey, it resonated for me.
Yeah,
Everywhere you go, there you are. And I'm like, dog dabbit. She's right. Deal with it. It's not going to run away. It's not going to go away. You
yeah.
know? What makes you happy? What brings you joy?
This being creative, making music, my art.
You're a great
Um,
artist, by the way.
I'm okay.
Okay, well, you can take um my words as however you'd like, but I'll say it again. You're a great artist, by
I
the way.
appreciate it,
Oh,
Kristen.
cool.
Thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't know we had so much talent in our family.
Well, you also are a great singer. I'm waiting for
Thank you.
an album to come out or something.
That's gonna have to be from Jesus because there's no parts of me that's gonna do that. I haven't been called to sing and make an album. I like to sing live. I like to sing what I want to sing, but
there's a joke out here that every guy has an album,
really,
because LA is so in the DIY
okay,
independent, and there's so many baby studios out here, and
yeah,
everybody's a musician, a DJ, an artist, an actor. So
yeah,
everybody has a movie, everybody has an album,
yeah.
and but you'll never hear it.
I mean, that's a great joke. I will say this, wherever your creativity pushes you, you should do it. And you should not do it just because you feel like the business is already full of other people who are doing it, because they aren't you. And what you have attached to your name has nothing to do with what they have attached to theirs.
Yeah. Well, you brought up earlier that you wanted to die empty, and which is funny because Jazzy DJ Jazzy Jeff has an album with Glenn Lewis, and on there
Mm.
there's an interlude that says it's good, it's great, and he says, in an interlude, die empty. Who cares about the industry, the record labels, whatever? Just die empty. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna do that. So
Mm.
that's why I've been coming out with all these albums now, because I'm like, okay, so they're not professionally mixed down, they're not professionally mastered. I'm not a professional at all. I haven't done a show in years. Um, but I have all this music, and as long as the internet is there, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use all these event Bandcamp, SoundCloud,
Hmm.
YouTube. I'm
Hmm.
gonna use all these advantages and just put the music out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stop waiting on getting some money to pay somebody to mix it and master it. Like, I did my best. I had fun making these. I had fun mixing and mastering.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love making the cover. I love making the music. I like, putting ideas and stuff and redoing things. I like the whole process. And I just put it out. I just put it one out a few like yesterday. So
So I got to check these out because I see this is what happens when you don't know, right? So I didn't even know that you've done this. So I'm excited because,
I'm excited too.
well, I'm glad you're excited because see, passion plays different.
That's what it is. These are all passion projects and I love it.
See, that's what
I
I'm
love
talking
it.
about. So if you don't get that out of your body, these albums are you did them for you. You
I
didn't do it.
did, yes.
It's like I don't know. Let me see what the people are looking for. No, you didn't do it like that. You did it because this is what your body was telling you you needed to release or the story you need to tell. We get. I know for me, like I will forever until the day I die love Lauren Hill's Miseducation as well as her Unplugged because they were raw, they were vulnerable, they were her truth. And that resonates so much for me that I can sit there and go, wow, that's not my story, but it's hers, but it hit me because it hit her.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine if people wouldn't put out those things, if we wouldn't do what we're doing right now
People are
out of
doing
the
it
passion
now.
and the love? It's
Yeah.
necessary.
People are
So,
doing it now because, oh, I'm not going to get all these views or nobody's going to listen to it. Yada yada yada. Like I think this is true, but like somebody used this female producer's music because they found it on SoundCloud, and these songs were like 5 to 6 years old, but he used it in his movie 5 to 6 years later because he just found it, and she hasn't been making music for like 3 years, but just because she put it out there,
yep.
and I'm not saying this will happen to me. I don't care. I just
Yeah.
want to put it out. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying somebody found her stuff and used it in a movie that
Yeah.
is out, like is been in theaters. Like this guy is a popular guy. He's just into hip hop and music. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
into music. Period. So I'm just like, that's that's dope. And because I looked her up and I'm like, man, she hasn't made music in 3 years. I hope I hope they told her that they used it so
Yeah.
she could get some more
Give her
inspiration.
money too, also.
Well, yeah, that
Cut
too.
that check,
Cut the check, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm
mean,
just saying, like,
that's
we get all our passion projects, our podcasts, our
yeah.
music, our
Yeah.
acting, our movie ideas. How many? I just saw a Star Wars fan film that some one person made. She made all the arrangements, hired all the people. There's 30 people on the cast. Like she did everything. Like that's amazing. I don't know how
Yeah.
she got the money, but it's amazing that she had this much passion for Star Wars that she made her own fan film. And a lot
Mhm.
of people do that. Like I love it. We
Yeah.
all love it. As fans, we love it. So as a fan of music and a DJ, I had all this music inside and I put it out. I taught myself music. I bought all the stuff myself. I have no
That's awesome.
sponsors or back, you know what I mean? Like that would
Mhm.
have been nice, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. I went from a
Yeah.
small keyboard to a big keyboard. Boop, I need to fix that.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of that, and I'm glad I did it and
Hey,
doing it or still doing it.
I love that you said that because those are the kind of words we have to those are the affirmations that I am proud of myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It resonates for me because a lot of times people are telling us things that somebody else told them. And I always say, I don't know if I take advice from somebody who's not doing, unless it's the
Yes.
advice for me to do it. Now, if you
Yes.
aren't doing it and you telling me to do it, I'm here for it. But what would it kill you to tell me go for it? Why not? Why don't you try?
Yeah.
But somebody who's trying to kill a dream and you haven't tried and you haven't done, ah, that goes straight out the ear. I'll listen to any conversation, but it's not much that's gonna stick nowadays.
Yeah.
You were talking earlier about how, like, I know my mom is constantly on me because I'm an artist, just like you. She's like, Kristen, I just worry, about your pension and you being able to retire and have my I said, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it because I know that when it's time for that to happen, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna speak millions in my bank account. I said, Mama, don't you worry. When I retire, I'm gonna retire a bunch of people with me.
Mm.
So if I see that. if I feel that, if that's my vision and that's not my concern, I know that if I'm being present in the moment, allowing the Lord to work with me being able to manifest my dreams first by verbalizing it and then watching it, everything start to line up, you don't have to worry about me. You should
Mm-hmm.
be worried about the one who's sitting over here stuck in a job just for the pension. Because heaven
Yeah.
forbid they fire you before that bad boy manifests itself.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of people commit suicide
You get what I'm saying?
or
So,
go through shit. Yeah.
we got to stop fighting against what's already placed in us. The Lord didn't make mistakes. And I know that parents have good intentions, but they're also giving us what they know from their experiences. And sometimes it's because, and hey, not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying that's what they know. If your parents aren't artists or creative in that realm, then they may not be the ones to right off say, go do that. Sure, because they may not have seen it working. But
Mm-hmm.
also parents fear that you're gonna, they want to catch you before you fall. But again,
Yeah.
it goes back to what my dad said, Kristen, you're made with everything you need to survive. So
Yeah.
that means he didn't put my parents here to catch me.
Yeah.
He's gonna catch me.
Also, I would rather my parents worry about me than not worry about me.
True. Very true.
Like
Very true,
not
because they
give a
could be the
shit.
ones calling. That's true. And that's the beauty of it, right? That's that other side that we have to also remember. I think that you and I are blessed with a lot with great parents. When did you realize that your upbringing was different than your friends? Any particular situation that stands out?
Going to the hood and seeing how they live, but even with they had and having great parents or a great family, I like a big family, like kids running around and yanking on my jacket. Bitch, can you come out and paint here? Like I love that. Just seeing how they live and stuff is very different. Like they had everybody in the house, like the sister who had kids was in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I see why he wanted to live somewhere else, because he wanted to get away with that. Just not being able to go up over there at certain points, or well, even though we did anyway. But just the way of living in the environment. But it also made me see Black folks in another light, because we're not a monolith. You know what I mean? I had a lot of well-to-do Black friends too. Like we run the gamut, man. We're not one thing.
Exactly.
I know a lot of bougie Black women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Gucci, this gotta be this.
Yes.
But they had it,
Yeah.
and they came from it. And then I see the other side who got the Gucci, but she had to get the fake Gucci, and she's struggling. She got a kid. So when I see my friends and the women I dealt with back then, like I go home and be like, man, like I'm glad I can go home, with an alarm. And even where we live, I mean, I still got my car stolen, my car broken into, like it didn't matter. That doesn't matter. Your environment doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance is everywhere.
Yep.
Crime is everywhere.
Absolutely. White collar crimes are committed by billionaires every day.
Yeah, pyramid scheme was, yeah. So, yeah. I don't really see any difference other than a bigger family. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel honored to be, or privileged to be where I was and had that safety net, and I was able to take chances. But then my friends also took chances too, and theirs were more dire because they might not have a place to go, or they'll have to deal with not having the money for long periods of time, or having to stay with somebody who they didn't really want to stay with because they can't afford the rent anymore. So we all took chances. It wasn't really a big difference. I just had a father. Some of my friends didn't have fathers, so I hope I answered your question.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there's no right or wrong to answering the question.
Yeah, I just very fortunate, because it could have been way worse, and it wasn't. But that's what anybody's life could have been way worse. We're lucky to have what we have, and lucky to breathe air. It's just how you deal with that.
Yeah.
You deal with your circumstances and the stuff you dealt with or have, and how are you gonna acclimate that what you have and proceed with your purpose. I always gotta find a purpose, man. Like you can't live through your parents, for your parents. You gotta live for you. So what are you gonna do? And how are you gonna contribute to the world to that benefits yourself? You know what I'm saying? And however you need to get there, whether you need an ayahuasca trip or go to the Buddha land of Tibet, or smoke some marijuana and chill and meditate and vibe out, go to the beach, hit some bongos, however you got to find it, read some books, do it, find a purpose and do it, positive purpose and do it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing illegal or that hurts other people.
That's right.
You always gotta say that because I found a purpose. I like to rob banks and hit people in the face. That makes me feel good. No, bro, you need therapy, bro.
That's right.
Why you want to hit people in the face?
I mean, one of my ex-friends, she gave me a great thing for stress. Yeah, we had to part ways, but she gave me a great thing for relieving stress. And what it is whenever you want to hit something or somebody, go and buy a dozen eggs, find yourself a tree or an object, and you say that thing and you throw that egg and watch it splat. It really does help to relieve, all
waste
the
of food, but yeah.
I'd rather waste food than do jail time. You know what I'm saying?
Hit some balls at a batting cage.
Yeah, or sure. Hit some balls at a batting cage. Something else to help you get that out of your body.
Go to a firing range.
Yeah. That's another option too. Yeah. You and I are both products. Well, we both have parents who divorced.
Yeah.
At different ages. So mine, divorced about 13 years ago. 14 maybe. Yours, how old were you?
I think it was like 15. Junior high to 8th grade. Yeah, downhill from there.
How do you feel that affected your life? Were there any, how'd that affect your life?
I mean, my grades went down. I took my grades out on my parents. I stopped doing the work. I stopped paying attention. I stopped caring. And then, I found a new bunch of friends, we just to deal with my anger. First I stayed to myself as a kid. During that time, I stayed to myself. And then when high school came around, I started having different friends and doing this janky, weird stuff. And nothing crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I just wasn't into school. Because if you could see the decline of my grades after that happened,
Okay.
And it just made me angry. I wish I had somebody to talk to about it. And, but it just went kind of down here from there. Gradually, though, you know what I mean? Not just, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, because again, isolation, I'm glad I knew how to draw. I was just drawing all day in my room. And then, high school came, and that's a whole new, more bullshit to deal with. My clothes, my stature, my glasses, my appearance, and trying to find myself, and then dealing with that in the background, blaming myself. You know what I'm saying? Is this weird thing to do as a kid. I think that affected me too with relationships. I never wanted to be with one person because I'm thinking like it's not gonna work. It doesn't. I'm just gonna be a player. And how I treated women and stuff like that. Like all that affected me for years, decades, dude. It was insane. I wish I had. I wish I had therapy too. I would have saved a lot of hearts and a lot of people's time, and not being a doggy dog. You know what I mean?
I get that.
See, women were just meat. It was just easy. First of all, it was easy. I'm not gonna lie, and I took advantage of that because of this punum. So I was a bad dude. I went on an apology tour.
I'm proud of you because I was gonna say, did you apologize to some
did to some of them, some gone years ago. But the ones that I still kind of talk to, I had to say sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's such an asshole.
Yeah.
Crazy. What about you? Oh, go ahead.
How do you think that could have been handled differently? Because I mean, the outcome was a divorce. It wasn't your fault, right?
Right.
These are two grown people making grown decisions.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your parents could have said to you, or like you said, therapy that could have helped that to have been an easier transition?
Yeah, they could have put us through therapy. I don't know what my sister was thinking, but I wish I would have talked to somebody, at least have somebody narrate what I was going through.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And put me on a better path. No drugs, just to, just mentally, just talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think they, again, our family wasn't a talkative, communicative family. So it would have probably meant more coming from them, but maybe they didn't know how to articulate it either. It's just like, well, we're
Mhm.
not going to be together anymore. I think they did kind of sit us down and say, we're not going to be together anymore. I think we did have like a family
Mhm.
discussion. But other than that, like somebody outside, I wish would have kind of just broke everything down. Even with having me and my sister there, that would have been cool, because so we can hear each other's thoughts and stuff.
Mhm.
But then I probably would have rebelled. I don't know. I probably would have been like, "What am I doing here? I ain't gonna talk to you out." I would have been a dick.
Yeah, I mean, could have. That's the part, right? Hindsight's 2020. We don't know how it would have worked out had they done that. But at the same time, now when we look at it, you can say maybe that would have been a better way of handling the
I'm
situation.
pretty sure he or she would have broken me down like Tony Soprano. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's fine. I'll tell you what's going on over here. Okay, I can't take it. Like.
Have you healed from that stuff? Have you let it go?
I think you better let it go. Yeah. Oh, yes, I have. I've
Good.
not only have I let it go, but I understand why they did that. I
Mhm.
understand it as grown people, why they did it. They just weren't. They tried to make it, but they just weren't. What do you call it? Not cohesive,
Compatible?
compatible. You know what I mean? I understand the circumstances of why, how, during
Yeah.
the time. Like I get it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that was told to me back then, I wouldn't have gotten it.
Mhm.
This journey was my Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through everything I had to go through to get here, mentally and physically, and being a man, and dealing with that as a man.
Mhm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I'm content now. I'm cool. We're all cool.
Good.
I've forgiven everybody. I've forgiven myself.
Good.
People forgave me for the
Yeah.
most part. You know what I mean? So as much as bullshit as I went through, and I wish I didn't go through, I had to go through that to get to be who I am now, because
Mhm.
I like who I am now.
Love
Namaste.
that. Namaste.
Namaste, baby.
The God in me sees the God in you.
What about you? What was your journey? Because I don't know one person who benefited mentally. Maybe you got more gifts because you had two households, but like mentally from a divorce, because that's what paranoid me with the relationship. Like I was so scared to break up or get married, because there's been plenty of times I could have got been married. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But that made me paranoid. That hurt me so bad. I couldn't stay with one person. You know what I mean? Because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 I
So
get that. What about for me? My parents, yeah, they divorced about 14 years ago, but ever since I was young, you know how I was telling you before, like as a child, thank God for wisdom, I looked at my parents as just people.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, she can't tell me
Even
really
then,
why. Even then,
see that wasn't me. I put them on a pedestal.
you did. So
Like
I
they
did.
could do no wrong. So when they did
Yeah,
wrong, I was confused.
gotcha.
Yeah.
See, my brother and sister did that, or I
Mm,
think that they did, but I didn't do that.
okay.
So even when I was 7, 8, I was so inquisitive. I had so many questions, and I would ask my parents things, and I would pay a lot of attention. I was really quiet for the most part. I watched more, and I'd see how they did things or why they did things, or I would ask, and I was always watching. And I was like, my mom wouldn't have done it like that. Or,
Mm,
and this is just me as a child.
yeah, that's amazing.
Sizing up a situation without a lot of information as of why they're doing. Because some of it could have totally made sense. It just didn't make sense to my 7, 8-year-old mind.
Yeah.
So from that point on, early on, I was watching them. And so when my parents got a divorce, I wasn't surprised. I actually felt like it had been time. I was shocked they
Wow.
made it that long.
Oh
Like I
God.
felt I was just like, y'all are about to now be happy. Like, that's how I felt. I was like, okay, now
Wow.
y'all are gonna be happy. And so, I think it hit my brother and my sister a lot harder because I think they put my parents on the pedestal. But like I
Yeah.
said, I saw them as people.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, they're flawed just like me. So
I
when
wish I
they
did
got,
that.
y- right, it's everybody has a different experience.
Mhm.
So when they got a divorce, I was like, oh, now they're going to find themselves and they're going to find their own joy and they're not going to be dependent on another person for happiness. I always saw my parents as two people who both had a broken leg.
Mhm.
So if
Got you.
if my mom has a broken leg, my dad has a broken leg, then
Yeah.
they're trying to help each other walk.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to see them walk on their own.
Those,
I was like,
that's a bar right there, by the way. That was a bar.
thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
I call them Christianisms. They just kind of come.
Ah!
And
That was a good criticism.
thanks. So I couldn't wait to see them walk on their own. So for me, I think, now since I am married, I can see that divorce can be like a death.
Mm,
And it can make you feel like a failure. I see
mm,
that now because I am, that was young Kristen without the life experience I have now. And like I said, even in my own marriage, it's been worth it, but it ain't always been easy.
mhm,
Some of the best advice I've gotten from a married couple that's been married like 40 something years. One of my friends, Kate, said, Kristen, our children asked us, what's the secret for us being married so long? She said, and I told them that we never wanted to get a divorce at the same time. And when
mm.
she first told me that, I was like, what? Who says that? And then when I went through my own struggles in my own marriage, I went, oh, now I know what she means.
Right,
Because
right.
Jules and I have been through it to where I was like, how can this can't be repaired.
Mhm.
This is beyond repair. I'm tapping out,
Yeah.
but God and removal of ego
Mhm.
and allowing the work to be done. And look, everything's not forever. Some people have seasons. Even when we got married, the lady who married us, she's an ordained minister, and she made sure to not say we didn't do any of that till death do us part, because I don't believe in that. I don't know what life has to offer us. We will have a connection to one another just because we shared so many years together in life till death do us part. But who
Mhm.
says that we're going to be joined legally together for the rest of our lives for that amount of time? That would be the ultimate goal and desire. Um, and I say that right now, but who knows what our paths hold 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so adamant about being in the moment and loving fully right now, because I can't predict that time and what that's going to carry later. So I could see that for my parents. I saw, oh shoot, they are now going to get to soar in who they are.
Yeah.
But one thing they both taught me is that my perspective is just that. It's
Yes.
just my perspective. And if they aren't walking around with those same ideals and thoughts and revelations as I have, then I have to allow them their path and their journey to wherever it is they're destined to go.
Yeah.
So that's probably been the biggest lesson for me, like not pushing my feelings and my emotions on both of my parents. Because when I talk to my mom about this, she doesn't like it. 'Cause she's like, that's not how I feel. That's not how I felt. That's not, what I thought my life would be. And then my same with my dad, how dare you feel that way? Like I thought this was forever. And I'm like, okay, you know, evidently, I need to learn how to just listen,
Yeah. Yeah.
have my own feelings, allow
Yeah.
them to marinate in my head or journal, and allow them to have their own based off of their own relationship and what they saw their future looking like,
Yeah.
you know.
And everybody's okay now. Everybody.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I hope that they're okay. That's the other part of me allowing them to be wherever they are. Like,
Mm.
how I feel about where they should be or how I feel about where I want them to be has nothing to do with their process or their journey.
Yeah.
So I hope so, but I can't say.
We were talking off camera about doing this, and then me being a mystery to our family. And I kind of wanted to get out there to where to say my piece just in case they watch. I don't know if this is because of how I was raised or whatever, but not I wasn't a social person back then. And because me you listening to you talk to you about your parents, like I don't really know them. You know what I mean? Like I don't know anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I barely know Uncle Victor, who I love dearly, but he's like the closest one out of everybody because he came to visit.
Because he travels. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He
He came to
shows
visit
up.
us. Yeah. So everybody is still a stranger to me. Nice
Hmm.
and treat, brought me in, brought us in or whatever. But like, and I think I don't. Well, one, I want to apologize, and two, I wish we were closer. I really thought social media would have brought us closer, but it didn't. I thought the reunion that you and Natalie had for us via Zoom, which I thought was a brilliant idea. I thought that would make us closer. I have made no attempts to talk to any of them. Like if it wasn't for Crystin making a move, I probably wouldn't talk to Crystin either. You know what I mean? Because I'm just not like that. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that about myself. Because even when I meet some of you guys, like I remember meeting some relatives in Colorado when we were traveling to going to Tennessee. Nice. Everybody's cool, nice. I would have loved to got to know them better. Never did. You know what I mean? I would love to be closer to Alicia. I don't. I hit her sometimes on Facebook. I don't know what's going on with her. Some, you know what I mean? Like I don't. I wish we were all closer, but because of proximity, that's what I learned with my friends. Like everybody's in the house, cousins coming over, people's kids, playing with them, playing with the kid. I love that. You know what I'm saying? I wish
Yeah.
everybody was down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wish people were 2 hours away. You know what I mean? But we're not. We're all over the place because of whatever, military or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just travel. And I'm glad everybody got out because nobody shouldn't stay in one city.
Hmm.
But I don't know any of my uncle's children. I don't know any of y'all.
Yeah.
And I regret that. But I also haven't made effort. And I don't know why I do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's get to it. Let's do. Have you ever done the whys?
I've done
Let's
the
get.
Z's, but I haven't done the Y's.
Okay. Let's first of all, I love that you're admitting this. I love that you're aware of this, and I
Absolutely.
also know that those are the first steps towards change, if that's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Every other week, we have family prayer at 5 p.m. I know, but guess what? You can get on for 10 minutes if you're headed from home from work or whatever. You can get on and just listen if you're at work and not say anything. Um, I will tell you and thank you for your compliments about the family reunion that Natalie and I worked on.
Oh, it was amazing.
Eh, Thank you. She's pushing me again. She's like, we need to do a cousins one. So I'm gonna work on the next cousins one. So we're gonna do it. Cause like you, she wants it. She craves this, and our family is the kind of family that if I were an outsider, I want to be a part of that family. Like I'd be like, that's the family I want to be a part of because we support each other. We don't take from each other. We give to each other. We feed each other financially, spiritually, emotionally. We're extremely supportive and present. We're that kind of family. And we don't bother people. We're not like, why didn't you come to family prayer? Why didn't you? No, you come when you feel like it. We're a pressure free, loving family, have always been, and we're always supportive. So I want you to know that if you don't know that, pop up. Uncle Tim pops up whenever he feels like it. Aunt Ruth pops up whenever she feels like it. There are times when there are like 4 of us on family prayer and times when there are like 12 of us. And we have just as much fun when the numbers are high and when the numbers are low. I have learned so much about your uncles, about your dad,
Mm-hmm.
about my own, my brother when he came
Yeah.
that I didn't know because we discuss topics that are out of the blue and they're random. And you see the questions, the one little question for family prayer, and then we go, and some people just show up depending on what the question is. Like, I don't want to talk about that, so don't come. It's fine. But when they see one that, suddenly resonates with them, we are dying laughing. I wish I could tell you about your uncles, but that's confidential stuff since it's on
Yes.
Zoom and we just share it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, if you show up, you'll know those things about them. And like I said, there's no judgment or anything. Now let's get to the whys. Why do you feel like you haven't made the effort to get to know that side of the family or to offer the olive branch?
I think in the beginning it was because I didn't feel successful. It was like going to like my class reunion. I never went to my class reunions because I don't feel like worthy. I don't, I'm not
Okay.
a successful person in my eyes, so I didn't feel worthy to even make an attempt to go to the reunions, make an attempt to get to know everybody, because I felt like a failure.
Hmm.
So I didn't want to come off. I didn't want, obviously this is ego. I didn't want to
Hmm.
I didn't want to come off like that. I wanted to be somebody that they can be proud of. I don't even call my parents because of that reason too. Like I don't call them because I need to keep working. I need to keep doing my music. I need to keep like making art. I need to like trying to attempt to be successful. So all that time I'm spending talking to them, I could have been doing something else at before. So that's the one.
Whose definition of success are you living by?
At the time, it was Los Angeles. This is
Which is known as fake capital of the world. So whose definition of success are you living by now?
mine.
Great. What is your definition of success?
Um, being able to do what I want creatively whenever I want to, and not having borders or restrictions or stuff like.
Can you do that?
What do you mean? I'm doing it now. What do you mean?
So you're successful.
Mentally, yes. Financially, no. But mentally, yes. I
What's
am.
your definition of financial success?
To me, being able to have freedom through money. Being able to not buy whatever I want, not say expensive things because I'm not that kind of person. But
Hmm.
like if I wanted to get, I don't know, buy somebody some food or something, I can do that. If I wanted to
Hmm.
buy my mom a car because her car sucks, I can do that.
Hmm.
If I want to take care of my mom,
Hmm.
at that right now I cannot do that. I don't have that success financially. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of
Okay.
stuck to right now. So yeah.
I get it. Are you on a road? Do you trust that your path there, you're on the road to getting there?
You know what? I do feel that way
Okay. Okay.
because of the passion.
Yeah, there you go. What's your
It's just taking
definition
a
of,
little longer, people.
I mean, you know what? We have the rest of our lives to figure this thing out.
Yeah, I
And if
just
we stay
hope.
on the right, Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
said
going to
what?
take your whole life. You're going to get to enjoy it,
Sure. Oh yes,
but it's not going to take your whole life.
that's all I was going to bring up. I hope I'm
Yeah.
not like I finally made it.
No, see,
I
that's the
can buy
thing.
that Maserati now.
And what's making it, and see, that's
Yeah,
the part, like, is making it your definition or the world's definition? Are you sound very emotionally successful to me. Are you emotionally successful?
I think I'm 80% there. Yeah,
80% is a great number.
yeah.
Okay. Are you
Yeah.
physically successful?
I mean, I could be healthier. You know, I got a little booty belly, but is that what you mean?
Sure. I mean, it's by your definition of what that
I'm
is.
not like I
Do
was in
you
my
have high
30s.
cholesterol? Do you have
No,
diabetes? Do you
nope.
have Okay. So, great. So what I'm trying to say is when you look at the pie, right? When you look at the pie
Yeah,
and you see the 6 slices or however many slices you need that make your life complete, that's what you need to gauge your success off of. I think that you are seeing one place where you're on the path to not being where you want it to be, and you're still waiting on a win, and you
yeah,
just need to deal with the now. So we
yeah.
we need to be constantly in the now. And while we're waiting, you're missing, and these people who love you are missing getting to know this side of you. And that's what we don't have time for.
Yeah.
We don't have time for you to be in your head about what you have to be or your preconceived notions of how somebody sees you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we need to get more comfortable with giving people who we are in the moment.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something, it's something about it that sets people free.
Yeah.
One of the best lessons, I'll never forget it, ever, ever, ever. This woman changed my life. One of my friends in college, and everybody know don't nobody have money in college. A lot of people wanted to go out for pizza or whatever, and I didn't have any money. So instead of me saying I didn't have any money, I was like, oh no, I can't go. I need to study, And all while had I said, but the friend, alone your pain, she says, oh no, I ain't going. I ain't got no money for that. And it was like I looked at her like. And she said what I was thinking because she didn't have any preconceived notions of that making her less than.
Mm-hmm.
So she just said it. She
Mm-hmm.
freed me of my whole weight I had placed on money
Mm-hmm.
as being what predicts who I am. Because if I don't have money, then who am I? And watching her and listening to her say that for the rest of my days, this was 15 years ago or more, made me go, what the heck? Why am I sitting here? Had I said, hey, I ain't got money for that, somebody could have said, oh, I get the pie this time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I could have given somebody an opportunity and I would have got my pizza. We would have kikied and cackled. I wouldn't have been sitting in my room thinking that I was less than because I didn't have a couple bucks to go and get a slice of pizza that it wasn't even about in the first place. Because guess what? Guess what, cousin? Somebody had the money to buy that pie, and what they needed was some support.
Yeah.
They needed somebody who could sit there and laugh with them and make them feel better about themselves. But because I was sitting there judging myself about a slice of pizza,
Yeah.
they didn't get to get that.
Mm-hmm. And I could remember a lot of times where we had one or two people who didn't have money, but we just wanted them to come. So we'd be like, no worry about it. And then when we would get our meals, we always share anyway. We would give them some food or whatever, so they wouldn't look stupid with no plate. We give them food, and we always do that. So yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so we create all these stories. So I'm glad you said that. Hopefully that can get to your why of the fact that we want you there. The whole reason that family prayer was created, y'all. Family prayer is something that we do every other Thursday, where it's a Zoom link, and so it gives us no excuse, like you were saying, cousin. You want to be in the house with people, but you're in your own house, and we get to see you, right? I remember the time you came. You came and popped up on the screen. Your daddy had a hat on, and he pulled his hat down. I immediately saw him pull his hat down. He turned his face to the corner, and I knew he was crying because he's like, "There goes my son." And it's something special to daddies about sons. Just like there's something special about daddies about daughters, but it's something special about daddies about sons because, they see themselves and they see this man that they work so hard to make sure that he's going to be okay once they're gone, or that's the person who's carrying their name. Because a daughter, when she gets married, she doesn't, but the son does. And it matters and it means something. So your daddy didn't have in his head when you showed up, my son, he's not financially successful. All he saw was you. And that's financially successful by your standards. What's my definition of success? Dog nabbit. Time. Time makes me successful. Because with time, and you can't put a price tag on my time. Mm-hmm. I'm going to decide who I decide to give it to. I'm going to decide what jobs I decide to give my time and energy to. I get to decide how I'm going to spend it, who I'm going to be around, what I'm going to invest my time in, because I can't get it back, right? If I give somebody $100 and they don't pay me back, I can work and get that money back. Or one day they may give it back to me. That can be replaced, but my time can't be replaced. I'm successful as long as I can get these bills paid. And whatever's left over is I'm going to make good choices. So some of it, if it's $5, 2 I'm going to the savings, 3 I'm going to some bread and a can of tuna. You know what I mean? And I am successful. What makes me successful is that I I don't believe in trying, that I do everything that makes my heart go pitter patter, that I leave no stone unturned, that I die empty, that I live a life of no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. That's what makes me successful. And I fall into that line of, and I deal with this constantly in the business I'm in. In the business of show, I've had people come to me after a show and say, so, hey, what's next? Or they'll go, hey, so what have you done? And they're like looking for a resume read. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, I'll give them some, or I'll say, you know what? Or what if I don't have anything lined up next while they're asking me? There's no show next. I've realized that I'm going to stop living for the future and living for your questions. What's next may be a break, and I'm excited about it. I'm about to chill, turn off social media, and journal for the next month. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, because I've decided that that's enough for me.
Yeah.
When we stop living by the standards of other people, and if you're happy where you are, or you're making the moves to get to where you want to be, because happy is temporary anyway. Joy is consistent. Happy is an emotion that comes and goes, just like the lonelies. All that stuff is temporary. You can push through that. Well, they say, forget about, you can be motivated one day and not the next. It doesn't matter. It's your body getting used to the do. So as long as you keep showing up, well, then dog nabbit, the motivation, it'll come and go just like everything else. So I've realized that I'm going to determine what success means to me. I'm going to work towards those goals. And the truth is, Bishop, cousin, Lamel, other people are going to be motivated by your doing, because a lot of them are too afraid to take that risk and be authentically who they are in the first place.
Yeah. That was dope. Bro, yeah. I think I didn't come to the meetings because I'm not a God fearing person. So when you put it's called family prayer, I think that's why
I'm
I
so
didn't
glad you said that. I'm
participate.
so glad.
Because I didn't want to. I don't. I'm not into prayer, so like I don't want to. I'm not praying to anybody.
Yeah. Let me tell you what it is.
If it's a family meeting, then I'm pretty sure I would have gone to like a few of those.
Yeah, well then take the prayer off and don't
You
let
take
the word.
prayer off.
I don't have a problem taking the prayer off, but I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm kidding.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I love that you said that, because do you know how long the prayer lasts?
Well, 5 seconds. Probably like 5 seconds. Hey, it's a prayer. I'm not. I didn't want to like ruin the religious aspect part of it, because I'm not religious. So
you're not the only one in our family who isn't.
Yeah. So.
But they show up because you know what, and this is the thing, and you can show up because you don't know what something is until you do it.
Facts.
At least give it a try and see if you like it. It's like, yep, no, that ain't for me. I know I don't like mint chocolate chip ice cream. Hate it. I don't even want to try it, but I will, just to say either, right, see, I knew I don't like it, and then be done, or try and see like, that's not as bad as I thought it was. I'm gonna try it. Let me tell you about what the family prayer is. We legit, I pose a question, I give it to them and give it to you all in an email early in the day. We think about whatever that answer is. Maybe it'll come to you, maybe it won't. Some of the questions are a hit, some of them are duds. Uncle Vic will tell me, Crystin, I really don't like this question. And I'm like, so you give me a question, help me out. You know what I mean? And we'll answer it to the best of our ability, or I'll think up another one. And then after that, the whole time, the first 5 minutes is us talking. How's your day? What you been up to? Oh, we joking each other. I can't tell you how much I didn't know we Jones each other like this, like legit. Like we crack up, like hilarious. Your uncles and their life experiences from living all over the country and the world. Some of it gets personal, some of it gets heavy, lots of it is light and lighthearted. How funny they are. And then after that, after people get there, we hit the question. And we all go down the road answering the question. The question could be something so silly as, what's your favorite garment or clothing, or why? Where have you traveled in the world that had the most effect on who you are? What brings you your greatest joy? Have you ever had a sexual encounter that you thought perceived as risque? Right, whatever it is, we hitting these things. What's the worst date you ever went on? Who's the first person you kissed? Any and all this stuff, and we are giggling. When I say we are, I've never known so many things about. If you could be the opposite sex for 24 hours, what would you enjoy and what would you do? You know what I'm saying? And the questions and the comments and the giggles. If you could write your own book, what would you title it? If you could if you were a song, what would be the title of it and who would sing it? If somebody could play your life in a movie, what actor would you choose and why? Like, these
I
are the
think
questions.
I think too, you guys go too early too. Like I'll be at work when I get the.
So guess what, my love? You say that in the group, like, hey, can we push this back time? Your
Mhm.
voice is the place that we want to hear it. If we can get more people to come, you might not be the only person who feels that way. Other folks will
Right.
be like, yeah, I could make it if it was blah, blah, blah time. Great. Now, since I know that that's something, then we're going to push it back. Even if we push it back every other week,
Yeah.
suddenly it's at, 8 o'clock on, this Thursday, and then it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the next Thursday. So that Lamel can show up or Natalie can come, because Natalie says the same thing. If you're a little later, I show up. Great. Well, then why not? What would it hurt?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, the last minute, I tell you, this is literally like when we're like this close to end, and I'm like, all right, who want to pray? And you should see them. They all like, okay, cool. Sometimes they'll say, sometimes someone has read a poem. Somebody has said, like a couple words. Somebody has said a scripture. But most of the time it's me going, all right. So then I just sit there. Thank you, Lord, for our family. We like to have so much fun. I mean, I don't know what I would do without them. Amen. And we get off, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay, I'm
cute.
gonna make it an attempt.
I love it.
I'm gonna make it an attempt.
I
The
love
next
it.
one. I'm gonna,
I
depending on
love
what
it.
time, because I might
Well,
be at work.
talk to me about the time.
We gotta be fair to everybody. I just can't
Of
move it up for
course, but
me.
if we don't ask, we don't know.
Facts. Facts. Okay, I'm gonna make an attempt.
I said again, what time? Like,
Oh,
it's
what time you
5
gonna
p.m.
have
your
it?
time. It's
Yeah.
5 p.m. your time, but does 6 p.m. your time work better? Does 5:30 work better? You know what I
We'll
mean?
just
Like your
do it.
drive home?
Yeah, we'll just do it normally, and then
Okay.
we'll go from there.
All right. Cool.
All right. Well, Kristen, thanks for doing this. We'll do it again because
Oh,
there's some questions I wanted to ask, but I like you asking me questions.
well, good. I think it's the interviewer in me, but I'm grateful to have you here, and I'm
Well, I'm
open.
grateful to have you here doing this, asking me questions.
I love
And
you, cousin.
I love you. And the next time I'll ask the questions that I had. And we'll definitely do this again. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. Thanks for everybody for listening. Muna Moves podcast. Crystin Gilmore, my cousin,
All day.
and all day. And bye. Two fingers.